Welcome back to Extreme Outdoor Survival. I'm Jennifer, and today we're not talking about starting fires or finding water. We're talking about the real battleground, the 6 inches between your ears. Out here, in the raw, untamed wilderness, it isn't always the biting cold that gets you, or the gnawing hunger, or even the wildlife whose territory you've just stumbled into. More often than not, people are defeated by something they can't see and can't touch. It's the whisper of doubt, the surge of panic, the slow creep of despair. These are the invisible predators, and they are relentless. Nature doesn't just challenge your body, it's far more cunning than that. It plays games with your mind, exploiting your fears and weaknesses until your own thoughts become your worst enemy. It sets traps made of overconfidence, false hope, and exhaustion. Today we're diving deep into these silent psychological traps, the ones nature uses to break even the most experienced adventurers. We're going to expose them, understand them, and learn how to arm ourselves against them. This isn't just theory, this is about life and death. If you're planning a trip into the wilderness, or even just thinking about it, you absolutely need to hear this, because survival isn't just about having the right gear and knowing how to build a fire. That's the easy part. The real test is a mental one. It's warfare, fought against the most formidable opponent you will ever face, yourself. So, get ready, let's begin. The first trap is one of the most dangerous because it feels so good. It's overconfidence. The sun is out, you've made good time, the trail seems clear. You tell yourself, I'm fine, I can push on a little further, make it over that next ridge before dark. That voice, the one that tells you to ignore the signs, the changing weather, the fading light, the slight twist in your ankle, is a killer. It's a silent assassin that works quietly, lulling you into a false sense of security right before the situation turns critical. It convinces you that rules are for other people, that you're the exception, but in the wild, there are no exceptions. The mountain doesn't care how strong you think you are. The river doesn't care about your schedule. The moment you start thinking you've got it all figured out is the moment you've lost control. Real survivors, the ones who walk out of the woods, aren't necessarily the strongest or the fastest. They're not the ones who boast about their abilities. They are the ones who possess the humility and the self-awareness to listen to that other, quieter voice. The one that says, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right. They're the ones who say, I need to stop. I need to think. They'll pull out the map, even when they think they know the way. They'll put on a jacket before they feel cold. They'll make camp while there's still plenty of daylight, rather than racing against the sunset and making mistakes. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's the hallmark of a true survival mindset. It's recognizing that your ego is a liability out here. The wilderness will always punish arrogance, without fail. So, how do you fight it? You make a habit of constant self-assessment. Every hour, stop for 60 seconds. Check your gear, check your body, check your surroundings. Ask yourself, what has changed? What could go wrong in the next hour? By building this discipline, you defeat overconfidence before it can even take root. You replace the illusion of I'm fine with the reality of I am prepared. That's the difference between a story you tell and a tragedy someone else tells about you. You've just realized you're lost. The trail has vanished. Every direction looks the same. Your heart starts to pound, a cold dread washing over you, and then the second trap springs. Panic, but it doesn't announce itself as panic. It disguises itself as a sense of urgency. It screams in your head, hurry! You have to do something! Move now! This instinct to rush, to scramble in any direction just to feel like you're making progress, is nature's favorite trap for the disoriented mind. It's a primal, thoughtless reaction that burns precious energy and almost always makes a bad situation worse. Movement without a plan is just a faster way to get more lost. You start thrashing through the undergrowth, not paying attention to your direction, not looking for landmarks. You might walk in circles, or worse, you might walk deeper into danger, towards a cliff edge, into a swamp, or further away from any potential rescue route. Panic strips you of your most valuable survival tool, your ability to think clearly. It narrows your vision, both literally and figuratively, until the only thing you can focus on is your own fear. The cure is something that feels completely counterintuitive. In that moment of high adrenaline, you have to stop, completely, find a safe spot, sit down, and force yourself to be still. This is where the mantra comes in. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Rushing leads to mistakes, injuries, and exhaustion. Deliberate, calm action is what will get you home. The first step to achieving that calm is to control your physiology. Take 10 slow, deep breaths. In through the nose, hold for a few seconds, and out through the mouth. Feel your heart rate begin to slow down. Once you've wrestled back control from the primal part of your brain, you can re-engage the rational part. This is the STOP principle. Stop, think, observe, and plan. Stop moving. Think about how you got here and what your options are. Observe your surroundings for any clues, the position of the sun, the direction of the water flow, any recognizable landmarks. Then, and only then, do you make a plan. Even if the plan is just to stay put and build a shelter, it's 1,000 times better than panicked, aimless wandering. When you're truly alone out here, hours turn into days and the silence starts to get loud. This isn't just about missing people, it's a profound, crushing isolation that can dismantle your will to survive. This is the loneliness spiral. It starts with a feeling of being small and insignificant against the vastness of nature. Then, it morphs into a conviction that no one is coming for you, that no one even knows you're gone. Your mind starts to feed on itself, replaying mistakes and conjuring worst-case scenarios. It's a vortex of despair that pulls you down. This psychological enemy is subtle. It doesn't attack you with claws or teeth. It erodes your motivation from the inside out. Why bother collecting more firewood? Why bother purifying more water? The feeling of hopelessness makes every small, essential task feel like a monumental, pointless effort. This is where many give up, not because their body has failed, but because their mind has surrendered to the crushing weight of being utterly alone. It's a state where you simply stop fighting. But there's a powerful weapon against this, and it's one you carry with you everywhere. It's your own voice. The greatest survival skill in the face of profound loneliness is conversation with yourself. Don't just think about the tasks you need to do, speak them out loud. Say, okay, first, I am going to find 3 thick branches for the main frame of the shelter. Hearing a human voice, even your own, breaks the oppressive silence and reaffirms your presence, your agency. It keeps your mind focused and externalized. Name your tasks. Talk yourself through the steps as if you're teaching someone. Now, I'm lashing this branch to the frame. A tight knot here. This isn't madness, it's a proven psychological technique. It keeps the cognitive parts of your brain active and prevents you from slipping into that dark, emotional spiral. And when the despair really starts to set in, you look it right in the eye and you speak to it. You tell your brain, not yet. We are not finished yet. You become your own teammate, your own coach, your own rescuer. You're lost, you're tired, and your morale is low. Suddenly through the trees, you see something, a clearing that looks like a trail, a distant shape that resembles a cabin, a light that flickers in the darkness, a surge of adrenaline and hope just floods your system. This is it. Salvation. You abandon your half-built shelter, you leave your carefully chosen spot, and you push towards it with your last reserves of energy. This is the trap of false hope, and honestly, it is perhaps the cruelest of them all. Nature is full of tricks. The play of light and shadow can create illusions that look remarkably like signs of civilization. Your own desperate mind is an accomplice, eager to interpret any random stimulus as a sign of rescue. Pushing towards these mirages is a gamble that, well, rarely pays off. More often than not, the clearing is just a game trail that leads nowhere. The cabin is a strangely shaped rock formation. The light is a reflection off a patch of quartz or sometimes swamp gas. And now you've wasted precious energy and are more lost than before. This is where you really have to understand a critical survival truth. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is strategy. The desperate urge to keep moving, to chase after every glimmer of hope is driven by fear. It's your fear of staying put, your fear of admitting you are truly stuck. But sometimes the strongest, smartest, and most effective survival move is the one your fear hates the most. Stop moving. Commit to your location. This is especially true if you've told someone where you were going. Your best chance of rescue is staying on or near your planned route. Instead of chasing shadows, you channel that energy into what will actually save you. Build a proper shelter to protect you from the elements. Create signals that can be seen from the air. A fire that produces a lot of smoke or a large X made of contrasting colored rocks or logs in an open area. Conserve your energy and your resources. By staying put, you turn your location from a point of being lost into a base of operations. You switch from being a victim of your circumstances to the master of your small patch of ground. This enemy isn't dramatic. It doesn't pounce. It just grinds you down, slowly and methodically. It's fatigue, both physical and mental. After days of stress, poor sleep, and calorie deficit, your body and mind start to scream for a full stop. Every step feels like you're lifting a concrete block. Every decision feels overwhelming. Motivation, that fiery feeling you started with, is completely gone. You just want to lie down and let it all end. This is when simple mistakes happen. A misplaced foot, a forgotten piece of gear, a failure to purify water. In a comfortable life, when we're tired, we rest until we feel motivated again. Out here, that's a luxury you don't have. Waiting for motivation to return is a death sentence. Survival isn't about feeling good or being inspired. It is about discipline. It's the act of doing what needs to be done, especially when you least want to do it. It's about overriding the loud protests of your exhausted body with the quiet, firm command of a disciplined mind. The will to survive is a muscle, and it's exercised through small, consistent actions. The way to defeat the crushing weight of fatigue is not by attempting one last heroic effort, but by breaking survival down into tiny, manageable routines. You don't think about surviving the week, you think about surviving the next 15 minutes. The trap is thinking about the enormity of the task. The solution is to create a rhythm of micro-tasks. Force yourself to follow a simple checklist, even when you feel you can't move. Drink, eat, rest, move, repeat. Even the rest is disciplined. You don't just collapse. You allow yourself a 10-minute rest in a safe, dry spot. When the 10 minutes are up, you get up. No negotiation. You take a small bite of food, even if you don't feel hungry. You take a few sips of water, even if you don't feel thirsty. These tiny routines become your lifeline. They keep the engine running, however slowly. They are the small acts of discipline that accumulate minute by minute, hour by hour, to defeat the monumental enemy of fatigue. You've done it. Against the odds, you've established a solid camp. You have a fire that's throwing off good heat, a waterproof shelter, a small supply of food, and a source of clean water. For the first time in days, you feel a sense of security, a moment of comfort. The immediate threat of death has receded. This feeling is incredibly seductive, and right here, in this moment of relief, lies one of the most insidious traps, the comfort delusion. It whispers that you've made it, that the hard part is over, that you can finally relax. This is a dangerous lie. Comfort is not the finish line. It is a temporary outpost. It's a base from which you must continue to operate. The moment you see comfort as the end goal is the moment you become complacent. Complacency kills. It's the voice that says, I've got enough firewood for tonight, I'll get more in the morning. But what if a storm rolls in overnight and soaks all the available wood? What if your fire goes out and you're too tired to restart it in the freezing rain? Complacency is the failure to anticipate the next problem. A true survivor understands this. They enjoy the comfort of the fire, but they do it while scanning the woods for more fuel. They appreciate the shelter, but they use the daylight to improve it, to make it stronger and more waterproof. They are grateful for the food they have, but they are actively setting snares or looking for other edible plants. They never stop preparing. They operate with a mindset of what's next. They know that nature is dynamic and that their situation could change in an instant. So, when you find that moment of comfort, treat it as a tactical advantage, not a victory parade. Use the warmth of the fire to dry your clothes and sharpen your knife. Use the security of the shelter to get some real sleep, but set a mental alarm to wake up and check your surroundings. Use the small amount of energy you've regained to plan your next 24 hours. Real survivors enjoy comfort, but they never, ever trust it. They know that safety is not a permanent state, but a constant, ongoing process. This is the final boss, the ultimate psychological enemy. It might come after days of struggle or in a sudden moment of crisis. It's the internal voice that says, with chilling certainty, you can't climb that rock face, you can't cross that river, you can't take one more step, you can't survive this. This voice isn't an external threat, it's you turning on yourself. It's the culmination of fear, fatigue, and hopelessness crystallizing into a single paralyzing belief. Failure is inevitable. Nature itself doesn't have to break your leg or send a predator after you. That's the hard way. The easy way is to simply convince you to break yourself. It just has to plant this single seed of doubt and let it grow until it chokes out every last bit of your resolve. Once you truly believe you can't, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your muscles won't respond, your mind won't search for solutions, you will simply stop. This is the essence of giving up. The fight against this voice is the most personal and desperate battle you will ever wage, and you don't win it with a grand, heroic gesture. You can't just shout it down. You win it with small, defiant acts of progress. You win it by breaking down the impossible into the manageable. You can't climb the whole cliff? Fine, but can you find the next handhold? Can you pull yourself up just one more foot? You can't cross the whole river. Fine. Can you take one more step to that stable rock in the middle? This is the power of one more. When your mind screams, "I can't go on," you answer back, not with a promise to finish, but with a command for the immediate. Give me one more minute, just one more step. Let me try one more time. Each one more is a tiny victory. It's a spark of defiance in the face of despair, and these small sparks, one after another, build a fire. They prove that inner voice wrong again and again, until its power fades. You survive not by believing you can do the whole thing, but by proving you can do the next thing. So, there you have it, the 7 silent killers that stalk you in the wild. Nature is beautiful, there is no doubt. It's majestic and awe-inspiring, but never forget that it is also brutal, and most of its deadliest weapons are invisible. They don't leave tracks, and they don't make a sound. They operate inside your own head, turning your thoughts against you, preying on your deepest human weaknesses. You can have the best knife and the warmest sleeping bag in the world, but they are useless if your mind has already surrendered. Overconfidence, panic, loneliness, false hope, fatigue, comfort, self-doubt. These aren't just feelings, they are tactical traps set by your environment. They are the true test of survival. The survivors you read about in the news, the ones who walk out of impossible situations, weren't just physically strong or lucky. They were mentally aware. They understood this inner battleground. They recognized these psychological traps as they appeared and made the conscious choice to step around them, to fight back with discipline, awareness, and an unbreakable will. The wilderness demands respect, and the ultimate form of respect is preparation, not just of your pack, but of your mind. Know your enemies, especially the ones within. If you found value in this, if it made you think, then hit that like button, subscribe for more, and please, share this video. Share it with someone who loves the outdoors or someone who plans to test themselves against it. It might just be the most important piece of gear they ever carry. Stay sharp and stay alive.